You know that feeling when you're scrolling through your streaming queue late at night, and instead of picking that critically acclaimed drama everyone's talking about, you find yourself hitting play on Adventure Time or rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender for the fifth time? And maybe there's this tiny voice in your head asking, shouldn't I be watching something more adult? Well, here's the thing your brain already knows, but you might not have put into words yet. There's actually something deeply psychological happening when adults gravitate toward cartoons, and it's far more interesting than you think. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine your mind as this incredibly complex machine that's been running nonstop since you were a kid. It's been processing deadlines, relationship dynamics, financial stress, existential questions about your purpose, and a million little decisions every single day. Now, cartoons? They're like a reset button your brain desperately craves. There's actually research from the University of California that shows when we engage with animated content, our brains shift into what's called a low-threat processing mode. Essentially, the vivid colors, exaggerated expressions, and simplified visual language trigger the same neural pathways that were active during childhood, when your biggest worry was whether you'd get to the TV in time for your favorite show. But it goes deeper than nostalgia. Adults who love cartoons often have something psychologists call openness to experience, which is one of the big 5 personality traits. These are people whose brains are wired to seek out novelty, imagination, and emotional depth in unexpected places. Think about it. Cartoons can tackle incredibly heavy themes like grief, identity, loneliness, and morality, but they do it through metaphor and fantasy. Steven Universe doesn't just show you a story about gemstones fighting monsters. It's exploring trauma, fusion as a metaphor for relationships, and the complexity of forgiveness. Your adult brain recognizes this layered storytelling and actually engages with it on a more sophisticated level than a child would. There's also this fascinating concept called regression in service of the ego, a term coined by psychoanalyst Ernst Kriss. It's the idea that temporarily returning to childlike states, whether through play, art, or yes, cartoons, isn't about being immature. It's actually a healthy psychological mechanism that allows your adult self to process emotions, reduce anxiety, and access creativity. When you watch a cartoon, you're giving yourself permission to feel wonder again, to laugh without cynicism, to cry without embarrassment. It's emotional hygiene disguised as entertainment. And here's where it gets really interesting. In our hyper-accelerated, constantly connected world, cartoons offer something almost radical: simplicity with depth. The animation style itself, the way characters move and express emotions, it's all designed to communicate clearly and directly. Your brain, exhausted from decoding subtext in emails and reading between the lines in every conversation, finds relief in that clarity. You're not watching cartoons because you can't handle complex narratives. You're watching them because your brain recognizes that complexity doesn't always need to come wrapped in gritty realism. So, if you're an adult who still gets genuinely excited about new episodes of animated shows, who has strong opinions about which cartoon era was superior, who maybe even has a cartoon character as your profile picture, your brain isn't stuck in childhood. It's actually doing something incredibly adaptive. It's seeking joy, processing emotions through safe metaphors, and maintaining that openness to wonder that makes life a little less heavy. That's not escapism. That's emotional intelligence wearing a really colorful costume. The next time someone raises an eyebrow at your cartoon obsession, you can smile knowing your brain is doing exactly what it needs to do. And hey, if you've got your own theory about why cartoons hit different as an adult, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Until next time, keep watching what makes your brain happy.